Hi everyone, my name is Wesley from Unaufadox Productions and welcome to episode 23 of Creating Bass Loops Live, the live stream where I create wonderful bass loops for all you wonderful music producing producers out there. So in this video, I'm going to start with some changes that are happening in my world, in my music production and bass creation world at the moment. Then I'm going to analyze this track, which you see on the screen. Then I'm going to create a bass line, and that will consist of maybe recording parts, stopping, recording other parts, and then, putting together the ideas. Then you'll see me record an extended bass guitar loop. So this bass loop will be, in this video, it will be around 10.5 minutes or 352 bars. And the reason for that is because I wanted to give choice to music producers, but I'll get a bit into that after this intro. So after that, you'll see me upload it to my site and then I'll round out the video. So let's get into it, right? So there's been some changes with my marketing endeavors, you could say, my marketing endeavors. So, in fact, let me just check that I am streaming all nicely. Oh, yeah, change. So, what has occurred in my world is TikTok. So, usually, so if you're familiar with TikTok, you post to TikTok, even if you're not. So you post to TikTok and it will send it to some of your audience and like a test audience. And so you're like, there's videos where they say, you're kind of stuck in the hell of like 200 to 600 views. That's like a test audience that it sends it to. So TikTok stopped doing that for my video. So it's like 6 or 12 of my videos were stuck on like 1 view, 0 views, 0 views. So I spoke to them about it. Nothing can be done about it, is what they said. So I thought, well, I need to move to somewhere else, right? So I looked into Patreon. It's a good match. So I'm going to be migrating all of my stuff over to Patreon. If you've been following me, then you'll know that this isn't the first time I've had to migrate stuff, but it's cool because it's just a way of it. I think like with new endeavors and new businesses, you're trying one way, it doesn't work, you try another way, it doesn't work. You just got to keep rolling with it and just keep persisting, because at some point it's going to work. Like I feel it has to. So yeah, I'm going to be migrating over to Patreon, and so I am going to have a subscription model, probably at least 2 paid tiers and 1 free tier. So just kind of generally, because I need to go through the details, but generally a free tier so that you don't 1 second, one moment please, 1 moment, I just realized something. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so 1 free tier because I don't want, well, you've probably seen because I've been switching between them. I don't want to charge people to, download the premium bass loop. Like I just want that to be, you can always download the bass line. But what I will be putting behind a paywall is some behind the scenes stuff, which I've never released. I recorded one just recently and it went well. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoy just, talking about my passion. So I'll be releasing some of that stuff. And then probably in the highest tier, I'll be releasing some of the bass lines. So if you follow me on social media, you'll know that I do live stream test videos to test the levels of all of my system. So all of my equipment. So I create a bass line. You see me probably create 1 bass line, but there might be 5 or 6 as I'm, adding 2 dB and another 2 dB, getting everything perfect. So yeah, I might create 5 bass lines and then they just sit in the project doing nothing. So I thought, well, maybe people could have those. So that may be in the top tier. So it might be, the more traditional 16. I don't think it will ever be shorter than 16 bars because, yeah, I just feel, yeah, it's kind of for me. it could be the minimum. If there's some way, or if people want something shorter, then I'll explore the idea. But off the top of my head now, I think 16 is going to be a good fit. So there'll be a bunch of 16 bar loops in the library, and so the top tier of subscribers will probably be able to just have access to that library, and I'll be adding to that weekly. So at least maybe 4 bass loops per month. But I'm still working on the details. I plan to run through it this weekend and really hammer it out. So which is exciting. And if you're a optimist and have conditioned your mind to see the world as a positive place, then you'll be in the same kind of, I don't know, area as me, the same response area. You'd have a similar response to me. It's like, well, when one thing seemingly doesn't work out, this must be working out in my favor. So then you stay as chilled as you can, and then just look for the positive which this thing is pointing you to. And for me, the TikTok thing pointed me to Patreon, and it seems that Patreon's a better fit. So that's what's up right now. All right, so usually I have a news post that I post earlier in the week, and I picked that up now and expand on it, but I don't have that because things are up in the air a bit, so I've paused that. I had a couple of meetings this week, and it's things are up in the air. I need to sort out a Patreon and all of that. I'm not sure if I'll be pursuing that. So what I'll do is I'll just tell you about the bass lines and then get straight into the creation of the bass lines. So these are 10-minute minimum bass loops, and they are 10 minutes because I like the idea of variation. I like the idea that you could, so I'll go to the other screen now. I like the idea that you could, take this part here, or this part here, or this part here, cut, move around, copy, paste, really, really have a lot of options when you are creating. And, so I'll create like a simple groove, then a variation for 10 minutes. So you'll have quite a lot. And then sometimes I even change the idea, not completely, I keep the same fundamental groove, but I'll change it so it's more of a chorus idea, or coming from a chorus idea, more of a verse idea, which I quite like, because then the loop is way more dynamic, it's way more expressive, and it has the potential to keep the listener interested for way longer, which is the goal, which is definitely the goal. So 10 minutes long, and I also have an exclusive feature baked in. So if you was to scan the QR code now that you can see on the screen, if you was to scan that QR code, buy it, it would trigger a 24-hour timer, and then after that 24 hours I'd remove it from sale. And I'd also delete this live stream, so from my end at least there'll be no evidence that this baseline existed. So you could very well end up being the only music producer on the planet with that exact recording, which I thought was a good, because I was talking to a lot of music producers when I was researching for this, and they were saying exclusivity is the problem, because everyone wants to be individual and unique and original. Cool. So that's the bass lines. I suppose I should just get into creating, right? Just check the chats for anything. This is always like really interesting, this page. Okay, one moment. I just need to check that you can see my screen, because yes, you can. So I don't know why these are. Oh, it's just a heavy lag. Okay, fair enough. Okie dokie then. Let's so I don't know what that's showing, so let's get rid of that. And TikTok is just, don't know. Cool. Alright, let's get into the bass line then. All right, so this track that you see on the screen is in D major, and the notes in D major are D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, and C sharp, as can be seen here. So you'll be able to follow along. So as I start calling out numbers, these will be the numbers I'm referring to, unless I start calling out things like root, third, and fifth, which maybe I'll get into if I need to. Cool. So let's just have a quick listen to this track. It's following a 2-3 chord progression, which sounds like this. So what's happening is the chords are going through an E minor now. So the 2 here into the F sharp minor now. And this terminology, like chord progression, like it's very useful to know. Very, very useful to know. There was a time when I didn't know it, and I was still making music, it was fine. But when I found out about chord progressions, I was like, oh right. It's like, so rather than you going from scratch, like from complete silence and then getting going, which is enjoyable, don't get me wrong, with a chord progression, you can go find a chord progression, and it's different to sampling. Like it's way different to sampling. Sampling is you go and find an idea that's already been released and worked, like the millions of sales, and then you take a part of that and then you re-release it with different drums, or sped up or slowed down or something like that. But with a chord progression, it's the bare bones of the emotional journey, and then how you decorate that is completely up to you. Someone may be able to feel maybe the gist of where you're going, like this sounds a bit familiar, but it could be a different tempo, it could be a different key, the rhythmic arrangement could be different, there may be no drums, maybe just like a piano thing or just a harp thing, like whatever. I feel like the chord progression is like the bones, and then you just put a body around it with organs, different organs, different color hair, different color eyes, all of this. It's like that, like the choice that you have to populate a chord progression is really cool, and allows you a very individualistic expression. So what I will show you is 2, 3, right? So E minor to F sharp minor. So what I'll do is I'll just play the most basic harmonious expression of these chords. So that's known as the root note, right? So I'll play an E over the 2 and then an F sharp over the 3, just so you can hear that. So E. To the F sharp. That's very harmonious, right? So I like to do this just to show that when you're producing, you have more, or when you hear a song and you hear a song in a key, or you know that it's in a chord, like this is an E minor chord, you don't just have to stick to the root note. You can play any note within that key signature, and any of the kind of notes that are not in it, as long as you know what you're doing and you do it tastefully. But let me just run through the notes in the key signature of D major over this 2. So in this 2, the most fundamental 3 notes in this 2 are E, G, and B. Is that right? Let me just check. Yeah. E, G, and B. Yeah, so E, G, and B. Those are the fundamental notes that are at the core of this chord. So I'll just play those over it and you'll hear that it's very harmonious. So that's cool. But there are other notes, right? So let's just run through them all, and I'll stay on them just for a little while. So 2, 2, 3, 3. So you'll be able to follow this. I'm pointing to the screen like you can see. So I'll just play through like 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, and it will correspond to what's going on here. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. See, that's not as harmonious as this. Okay, now I'll call them out. 2, 3. Sounds nice though. 4, 5, 6. That's nice. 7, 8, which is 1, and then 2. So I hope that you can hear like the different kind of flavors that you can pull from the chord. It's like you highlight different notes that are in it, or you may highlight a note which isn't in it, which is like kind of like a gap, and you push that. I think that those are the times like this note, a little bit uneasy, whereas that's more harmonious. Alright, cool. So I think I'm going to get into the bass line now. It's enough music theory. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the track and then start to compose a bass line. So I might hit record just to get the idea down, but when I go for the main recording, I'll let you know. So let me just record because it sounds good. It's going. Oh no, let me get rid of that. Don't want that there. This first part. Oops. That's not bad. So that's cool, right? When I come up here, but it's like I can't stay there for too long. Hold on this 3-4 minute because I was coming down here. Which I like. Not bad. So quite like that. I think I'm just gonna work it a bit more and then I'll get recording. Yeah, I think I'm ready to record. Just solidify my position, I suppose. So, yeah, okay, cool, man. I'm gonna get going with that. Alright, so I won't delete that. See, these are the bass lines that I was talking about earlier from my live tests. So if you saw the live test, that was that bass line there. Cool. Alright, cool. So I'm going to get going with that. I'll take a sip of my water. Check everything is okay. Yep, seems to be. Alright, cool. So I'm going to get going with that. I hope you enjoy. yeah, cool. That was cool. That was cool. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that because I was experimenting. I was moving around. Yeah, and I liked the way it felt. Like there were some notes that were more harmonious than others. So yeah, one thing with this. So let's say you was to scan the QR code now and buy this baseline and activate the 24-hour timer. What would happen is within 48 hours, I'm about to about to export this and upload this to my site so that you can grab this now. However, within 48 hours, I will go through this and edit any of those explorations which I deem unworthy for this bass loop. So I'll change those, move those around, whatever it takes to make me happy with it, and then I will upload that. So that'll be an edited version. Then I'll also remove the processing, so I have some bits and pieces happening here. Like I have this distortion plugin, and I also have this. So it's a compressor, it's an EQ, and it's an EQ, doing various different tasks. So I will remove that and then upload another version. So to summarize, I'll upload a version tonight, which, as you see, it will be unedited and it will be processed. Then let me turn off the bass. Then I will edit it within 48 hours and then upload a processed version of the edited file. And then I'll turn off all of the processing and send that as well. So in total, you'll have 3 audio files. You'll also get the MIDI that you can hear here. So for anyone who doesn't know, MIDI is not sound. MIDI is instructions. It's data. It tells, to simplify it, it tells sound what to play. It will tell software piano what to play. So you get the 3 files. You get the 3 files. You get the MIDI. And then you'll also get a companion PDF, so a total of 5 files. And on the companion PDF, it will just give you a little bit of insight into my direction, what I was thinking about this loop. So this one would be something along the lines of, like, I wanted it to be soulful. Like I was really, when I was warming up for it, I just really liked this movement. I mean, that the slide was tonight, but I really liked how slow it is as well. And then the reason why that sounds cool is because, so you got the root note, right, which is the 2. You got the root note, and then you go to the 3rd, and the 3rd is the note which lets you know if it's going to be a major or a minor. So this is minor, so it has that kind of, not necessarily sad, but like that kind of, it's not exactly party music to do that movement in this context, whereas a major 3rd sounds like this. So it's a bit more, that's a bit better, rather than, you know. So the 3rd note lets you know if it's going to be a major or minor. So this is kind of like, you could say this is the core characteristic notes of the chord. So the chord sounds nice, it's a minor chord, and so it's like, yeah, no wonder the 2 most dominant notes sound good over it. And then the same with the 3. And then, so, you know, I was just doing other bits and pieces around it to give it some spice. But yeah, I was pretty pleased with that, man. Pretty pleased. So let's export it now. Also mute it. So I'll save it. I'll solo it. I'll highlight it. And I'll just adjust the volume. So usually I like to export at like 9.9. That's weird. Oh. Right. So minus 6.8. So minus 6.9. Oh, minus 6.6. What? 6.2. 6.4. So 6.3, right? Minus 6.3. What? There we go. Exactly. Oh. Alright. Today it's going to be 9.8. Because, yeah. Cool. So, yeah, I'm going to export this. So, let's bounce. So, this will be the unedited but processed version. Yeah, and I export it at that volume because this is an ingredient that's going to go into a track. It's not good for it to be fully mixed and fully mastered at this point. If there's any more questions on that, then please let me know, because I do mention it most times. I bounce the file. So let me go to my site now. So here's the product. Let me upload it. So we go to bounces, and there it is, and that's uploading. I'm gonna close these. In fact, no, I'll leave them just in case someone turns up. So yeah, that was a pretty cool bass line. I liked how soulful it was. Like I said, I liked that I was exploring. Didn't feel limited with it in any way. Exploring the fretboard, which is pretty cool. Because some of the notes that were less harmonious, they might be crunchy in a harmonious way. Like you can play, like I was saying earlier, you can play notes that are not in D major. You can do that. You just have to make sure that they're in the right place. Similarly, there were notes there that were in D major that when I stayed on them, they sounded crunchy. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy seeing what I created, what I came up with in the moment. Cool. All right, cool. So I'm gonna save that. So that's available now. So if I just view that. So that's it. Episode 23 in D major, 134 BPM. So yeah, that is it for tonight. Thanks to everyone who stopped by. Yeah, I do this every Wednesday evening at 8:30 on YouTube and TikTok. This may change to just Patreon, but for now this is what we're doing. So yeah, if you enjoyed that or want some exclusive bass loops, then join me next Wednesday 8:30 British Standard Time. Until then, make great music and enjoy life. And I'm just going to play the track and then I'll end the stream. Just turn it back up.